and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health. Every week on the program, we provide you with insightful information about NAFDAC's activities aimed at safeguarding the health of the nation. I am your host, Tosin Adebayo. NAFDAC, as a regulatory agency, ensures efficiency and effective service delivery in carrying out its activities. In achieving this and delivering on its mandate, the agency carries out its service delivery functions through specialized directorates. One of these directorates is the Veterinary Medicine and Allied Product. On this episode of the program, we will explore the activities of the Veterinary Medicine and Allied Products Directorate, VMAP, in upholding the agency's mandate.
The Veterinary Medicine and Allied Product Directorate is a very important directorate to us in NAFDAC. And they've been working very hard to ensure that whatever products, pesticides that have been banned in other countries are also banned here. What we have discovered is that there are many products that were banned in a country, but they were still exporting them to other countries. But it is because they have countries that will receive them. So what we are trying to do now is to ensure that whatever is banned in another country, we don't take. So we're going to delist a lot of pesticides that are coming into the country, just to make sure that they do not get into our supply chain to harm our people. It was after a series of suicides that we had to have a meeting with CropLife, and we discussed back and forth first to ban the small volume pesticides and to make the pesticides generally less accessible to the public. And then, of course, we discussed, the CropLife people are actually very, very responsive, how to add a substance that will make it bitter so that anybody that wants to take it will throw up. So that is a good means or ways to, a good method to make sure that people don't use it to poison themselves or to kill themselves. But it is not just the medicine itself. Feed. We are in charge of the feed that animals, livestock, eat, and we have to be also sure that the feed has the composition that it's supposed to have. Again, like medicines, what they take is what they give us. Fish, for example, you cannot be giving fish hormones to grow bigger, because they will transfer the hormone to us, and all sorts of things will start happening. So there are just so many people think that because it's animal, it's okay, they can do whatever. No, because we eat most of the animals that we take care of. Therefore, we put a lot of premium on veterinary medicines. Talk of good manufacturing practice. Our vet medicine directorate staff got trained by the Drug Evaluation and Research Directorate that focuses on human medicines. Because it is the same premium. The fact that you're going to give it to animals doesn't mean that it shouldn't have quality.
In safeguarding the health of the nation, NAFDAC, through the VMAP Directorate, ensures medicines used on animals as well as chemical usage on animal feed are of good quality and the right proportion.
Agency is responsible for ensuring that food being manufactured, exported, imported, advertised, distributed, sold, and used in Nigeria is safe and of the right quality and wholesome. The products that are under our purview are the veterinary medicines. You have the pesticides and agrochemicals, and then we also have the animal feed, supplements, and additives. These products, they play a vital role when it comes to farm to fork. For us in the directorate, we're happy with what we do because this is a directorate that contributes to the inputs that goes into the farm through the value chain until the food gets to the table. Now, for our input when it comes to the farm, we have pesticides, agrochemicals, and then we also have the veterinary medicines that are used on animals. And then we also have animal feeds that you use for animals. Now, this, we understand in the Directorate, play a very important role. We try as much as possible to ensure that we build quality, safety into the products that are in the open market to ensure that products, once they are used according to manufacturer's specifications, direction for use, are safe. Now, let me give you an instance. When you have agrochemicals that are being used on farms, we try to ensure through our creating awareness, ensuring that we have a strong relationship with our stakeholders, trying to pass a message out there to our stakeholders and farmers as well to ensure that products are used responsibly and according to manufacturer's specification. Pesticides are supposed to be used according to the direction for use to ensure that we don't have issues of residue. Now, residue is very important because you don't want to have residue in or on food, and then you're also trying to ensure that you don't have residue also left behind in the environment as well. And then we also have, you're looking at the veterinary medicines, trying to ensure that we don't have issues of antimicrobial resistance becoming a part of the human and animal circle, trying to ensure that people use veterinary medicine according to direction for use to ensure that you don't have issues of residue left over in food, to make sure that you also try to make sure that you have residue that are allowable, not above the maximum residue limits. And then that's why we have messages that we're passing on to people to ensure that they don't use etoxyquin as antioxidants in food, and also try not to use antibiotics as growth promoters also in animal food. And then we also have, and that's for feed, and then understanding that the issue of residue has its health implication. And that's a message we're trying to pass out there, that residue can cause nutrient imbalance. Residue can also cause a reduction in the quality of agricultural produce. And we know that this has a great impact on food security. So it's very important for us to actually send a message out there to our stakeholders to ensure that the products that we have, that the products that are being regulated and controlled by VMAP, that are used in accordance to manufacturer's specification, to make sure that that the end product, which is the food on our table, is not one that we're going to be having issues of residue on them. We're trying to ensure that roles that we play in the farm to fork strategy is trying to ensure that we have a sustainable food system in place, which ensures that the food is safe, which is also ensures that ensuring public health of the nation, and also ensuring that food security as well, by making sure that people have access to food that is wholesome, that is safe, and nutritious, and of the right quality.
NAFDAC, in ensuring proper handling and usage of products on plants and animals, has put together guidelines for handlers of these products in order to achieve and maintain good storage practice and usage.
Between the point of production of every product and the end user, there is a channel of distribution. And it has been observed that most people that come on board in that value chain, some are there for economic gain solely. And so they do not really understand the technical input as per how the product should be properly handled. And every regulated product, when you look at the label, we always have detail as regarding the storage of that particular product. And most people don't even look at that. And one of the major critical factors that affects the quality and the efficacy of that product is the storage. So if, for example, a product that you have on the label to be stored at maybe 25 degrees centigrade, maximum room temperature, and the handler of that product procure the product and choose to leave it under the sunlight, your guess is as good as mine, because over time, the temperature will rise, and it has been proven by research that increase in temperature affect the efficiency of the vitamins, the minerals that are used as additives, especially in the animal feed inputs. So on the long run, what you likely have is a product that is of less quality. And the animals, when they take this product, it affects them in many ways. The product, number one, will not deliver the nourishment required. And that will lead to weakening of the animals, which ultimately will also bring about secondary diseases. Not only that, products that are not properly stored. For example, if you get a animal feed product, and you choose to just store it not on the pallet and in a moisture place, of course, there's a tendency for that product to get, moisture from the floor. And over time, it can lead to mold growth. And mold growth definitely has negative impact on whoever consumes that product. So it's very key we maintain the good handling and distribution practice.
Proper handling of veterinary drugs plays a vital role in the efficacy of the drug. Drugs should be properly handled and stored in the right temperature as specified by the manufacturer. Banned drugs should not be used on livestock. Banned drugs like chloramphenicol, malachite green, carbadoes, nitrofuran, they are not good for animals. Chloramphenicol causes bone marrow suppression in animals, and nitrofuran is highly carcinogenic in animals. We should always observe the withdrawal period, which is the time that is elapsed between the last administration of veterinary drug and the slaughter of the animals. We should also desist from drug abuse. Make sure that veterinary drugs are being prescribed by veterinary doctor before using animals. It is very, very important so that there won't be drug abuse. We should always encourage the use of biosecurity and vaccination to reduce the possibility of using drugs in the farm, because if pathogens are eliminated, animals will not be sick.
We'll take a short break now. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Veterinary Medicine and Allied Products Directorate, keying into the agency's mandate, has mapped out plans to ensure proactiveness in its regulatory activities.
We are focusing our activities on effective regulation of animal feed and pet food in Nigeria. I want to step up our game to ensure that safer food are available for farmers and the pet animal keepers have access to safer food of good quality that will give a good result. In 2022, we shall be implementing the HACCP policy. This, we have been on it, and we have about 8 companies now to run the pilot study of the implementation of the policy. The 8 companies have submitted their policy documents, and we have reviewed them. We are working on them and communicating the company on observed lapses. And why we're having some lapses is that we want to be sure that the critical control points are not so numerous. At least we have to bring it down to a minimum of 1 or 2 so that we have a better result. Now, having reviewed the policies, we're going to be visiting the facilities to confirm what they have on their document, and that is going to gain priority in 2022. And the advantage of this is for us to have a safer feed, is for us to ensure that the ration we're having in all those feed stores are correct ration in line with the approved industrial standard. Presently, the division is also working on specific regulations for each class of feed: layers, mash, growers, broiler starter, broiler finishers, the catfish, tilapia fish feed, catfish feed and ruminant feed. All these specific feeds, we're developing regulation for them so that we can drive home the standards required for each class of this feed. And we're working on the pet food too. We want to encourage more of local production of pet food. There is nothing too fantastic in production of pet food. So we want to work more on that, both the wet base, the dry base, the extruded. We want to work on that. Some of these biscuits, pellets that we give to pet animals, these are basic things that we can produce in this country. So we want to talk to more of the manufacturers, work on the regulation. Let's develop the guidelines accordingly so that they have documents to follow, and we ensure that we have a good starting ground for effective local production of pet food. Though we have little production locally, but it's not as much as expected. We need to reduce the volume of pet food that is being imported because these are things that can be produced locally. Now, in 2022 too, we want to look into strengthening the distribution of animal feed in this country. We want to strengthen the storage capacity of each distributors and end users. We have instances whereby farmers will report that they lost their animals, and then when we dig in and do root cause analysis, we discover that the storage condition for those feed are so bad, and it encourages the growth of moles, thereby resulting to toxin. And by the time they start feeding the animal with the same batch of feed, at a point in time, after some period, the animal comes down with different challenges, and then some lose their animals.
NAFDAC encourages stakeholders of the veterinary division, as well as the end users, to be more conscious about the products they feed their animals, so as to ensure they don't run into loss, as well as endanger the lives of the general public.
The message is still just to ensure that you be a good partner with us. Our major aim is to ensure the efficacy and the good quality of the product, that we are sure that what we are taking for our animals is safe, because ultimately the animals will be consumed by humans. And when you understand the concept of One Health, you will agree with me that the input into those animals go a long way to affect the health of the human. If you put a wrong product, you are sure to consume a wrong product, which ultimately will affect the health of the citizenry. So we want to enjoin all our stakeholders to abide by these regulations and all the rules and laws, so to say, that we have been able to put across of you. Now, we have the FIVO principle. Do you do that in your own facility? You must check up, first in, first out, so that this, by so doing, you'll be able to assure that the products that you are putting out are of good, safe, and quality standard.
Time now to bring you a weekly bulletin on NAFDAC's activities over the last week. That's on NAFDAC Updates.
NAFDAC Kaduna campaigns against drug hawking. In its efforts to rid Kaduna's state of unwholesome regulated products, NAFDAC Kaduna recently embarked on consumer awareness campaign as a strategy to bring about the much-desired positive attitudinal change through a grassroots-based outreach enlightenment with focus on eradicating drug hawking in the state. Most often, drug hawkers harbor fake expired drugs, illicit pharmaceuticals, amongst others. Drug hawking exposes medicines to unfriendly and adverse conditions, resulting in their deterioration, loss of potency, and efficacy. Also, the practice dangerously encourages self-medication, which can be devastating on the health of the consumers. Unarguably, drug hawking is a serious menace which must be eradicated in all its ramifications through tactical, multifaceted approaches. Hence, the agency organized this awareness campaign. According to the state coordinator, Mr. Nasiru Mato, the end-to-end supply chain management approach for drug products evolved by the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, which is aimed at ensuring the availability of quality, safe and efficacious medicinal products, will go a long way in curbing the unethical and illegal practice of drug peddling, as well as infiltration of fake medicines into the distribution chain. The broad-based campaign towards eradication of drug hawking was successfully carried out at Sabuntasha, Mararaba Rido and Television Garage with the aim of putting the consumers of regulated products in the know. That's it on NAFDAC Update. You've been updated.
That's all we have time for on the program this week. Make it a date for another insightful edition next week. Same time, same station. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer-focused, agency-minded. Importing, producing, distributing, and selling fake drugs and cosmetics, adulterated food, and so on are criminal activities that destroy lives. Join the fight against these heinous crimes by reporting any suspicious activity in your area to NAFDAC. Let's join hands to safeguard the health of our nation. See you next week. Stay safe.